Hey guys, welcome back to Anime What If, and this is what if Deku had a video game quirk, the remake. I didn't really like the first version of this, so I guess you could call this version 2? I guess, cause I really wanted, to make the What If Deku Had a Video Game Quirk a good series. I just didn't see the first version of it to be very good, and I want to try to improve it. Do keep in mind that I'm new to this whole what if thing, so I don't have much experience, and I'm kind of learning as I go here. And trying to see what kind of stories that one likes, what one is this and one is that, what stories I think are good and not. It's just that I kind of really wanted, I really like making stories about things. I'm just, in the middle of My Hero, that's why I'm making My Hero. I'm actually planning on, doing something with High School DxD. No, not some kind of harem king thing. But I am thinking of doing that. So, of doing something with High School DxD. So but that's a discussion for another video. So, I'm sorry if you really liked the first version of What If Deku Had a Video Game Quirk, but I didn't really like it too much, and I made this channel really more for fun. So, I'm kind of doing just things that I like right now. I mean, if you guys have any ideas that you think would work out, then if I like them, I'll do them. Keep in mind, this is for fun. I'm just kind of just sharing it to let the world know that I'm thinking of these ideas. Not all of them are good, but I'm just testing here. So, once again, I made this channel for fun, so this isn't for... But if you have any ideas, I'd be happy to hear them. Actually, there might be some ideas that I personally haven't thought about that I might like. So, if you have any ideas, I encourage you to comment them down in the comment section below. So, without any further ado, let's begin with the series now, shall we? So, in this society, the Quirkless are essentially treated as slaves. The Quirkless are hated extremely. And so it's kind of it's so bad that in some countries in this AU, in this universe that I'm creating, some countries made it so that if a person is quirkless, they must be executed. It's that bad. Of course, Japan isn't going to be one of those countries, because there's a couple. Because there are some decently large areas that are fine with the quirkless, and because Japan like tried to do it, but but the cities that didn't mind the quirkless kept resisting it. So Japan's kind of like made it like the city is in charge. So if the city wants the quirkless to be executed, then they may have him executed. But let's say like Tokyo wants. Tokyo is kind of like a mixed bag. In Tokyo, you kind of need like a license to be in possession of a quirkless one. Yeah, but in like Kyoto, it's like I'll say execution, and let's say Edo. I don't know if Edo and Kyoto are the same, but I'm gonna just say they aren't because I don't know Japan very well. Edo maybe, let's say for example Edo, it's like quirkless are fine, but in Kyoto it's like, oh shit, gotta execute them kind of deal. So basically the quirkless are treated like shit. And so, at the hospital, Izuku and Izumi, actually no, not Izumi, Izumi doesn't exist. The name Izumi is used a lot. So Izuku was born, right? And the doctor's like, here's your beautiful baby boy, ma'am. And he was like, thank you. And so, after 3 days, she goes home. Okay. One moment, sorry about that. Time skip to when Izuku is 4. Okay? And Izuku at this point, he's like an intelligent kid. So he says, Mommy, I want to go to the Quirk doctor. Right? Well, actually, no, not 4. He's 3, I'll say, because I'll say in this world, kids usually get their quirks by the time they're 3. So, yeah, I'll say that. So Izuku's 3 years old at this point. So they go to the Quirk doctor, and so when they get there, the doctor says Midoriya's here, and replies, and they walk to the Quirk doctor, and the Quirk doctor's like, I'm assuming you came here to see what your child's quirk is, correct? And Gil says yeah. And if I may ask, Miss Midoriya, what is your quirk? My quirk is telekinesis. I can lift. I'm gonna make her telekinesis stronger here, and I'm gonna say she's like a minor hero. My quirk is telekinesis. I can lift anything up to 5 times what I would normally be able to lift with my arms. Oh, okay. Well then, young boy, my quirk is the doctor then says my quirk is power sense. I can sense the types of power people have. Right? So I'll also be doing some. It's not perfect, which is also why I'm doing some DNA DNA tests to make sure that I don't get it wrong. Okay. And goes like, okay. Then the doctor turns to Izuku and says, "Are you ready, kid? Are you ready to see what your quirk is, kid?" And he's just like, yeah. So the quirk doctor puts his hand on Izuku's forehead, right? And he senses a tiny bit of power, but not very much. The doctor's like, huh. If I may ask, what is the father's side again? And go. I'm gonna say that Izuku's Inko didn't have, really, like, I guess, didn't have Izuku willingly. Here, I'm going to say that she was, forcefully forced to have him. She chose to keep him. She didn't choose to abort him. She chose to keep him, but she was, forced to have him, to, I guess, keep him in her womb, if you are understanding what I'm saying here. And Inko, and so Inko, whispers this to the Quirk Doctor's ear, and very shyly, and the Quirk Doctor's like, I'm so sorry, I accidentally touched a very personal topic there. I won't do that again, I'm sorry. And he was like, no, it's fine, you didn't know. So, I suppose you gotta take those samples now, huh? See what his quirk is, right? The examination? The quirk examination. So they do that, and Doctor turns to Izuku and is like, are you ready for your quirk examination? He's like, yeah! They do the quirk examination. So, then, after the examination's done, the doctor turns to Inko and says, I have good news and bad news. And Inko's like, is he quirkless? Because Inko doesn't really like the quirkless too much. And the Quirk Doctor's like, no, he's not. The good news is that he will have a quirk. The bad news is that it's extremely weak, and he won't get it until he's around the age of 4 or 5. So come back again and I'll say 6 months. Right? And then I'll check again. Inko says, okay. So they go home, right? And Inko's a bit worried. Inko's no longer worried that Izuku's quirkless. She's a bit worried that he'll have a weaker quirk. But she's not too worried. So Izuku is like, Mommy, can I go to the park? Play with Kachan? And Inko is like, yeah, sure, go for it. Make sure to be home by 7, though, okay? Okay. So Izuku grabs his a backpack that he always carries with him. So he goes and runs to the... Inko takes him to the... Izuku runs to the playground, right? And he sees Bakugo and 2 of his friends there. So they're all marveling at Bakugo's explosion quirk. And Izuku's like, wow, Kachan, that's so cool. Right? And Bakugo's like, yeah, it's so cool, I can be a pro hero now. Izuku, what's your quirk? And Izuku's like, well, the Quirk Doctor said I wouldn't get my quirk until I'm 4 or 5. The Quirk Doctor said to come back to his office in 6 months then he'll be able to identify my quirk, to see what my quirk is. Bakugo accepts this. Right? And so they play together, and 6 months later, it's the day of the re-examination, and Izuku's like, Mommy, it's time to see what my quirk can be. And Inko's like, yeah, alright, get ready. While I get ready, let's go. So, they both get ready and go to the Quirk Doctor, and they rescheduled it so that they would have the same Quirk Doctor. So Izuku is like, so the Quirk Doctor says, Midoriya's? No, the receptionist says, are you the... and Inko goes up to the receptionist and says, well, we're the Midoriyas. We're here. for the Quirk re-examination, and the doctor, the receptionist is like, yes, the Quirk doctor is ready for you. So they head to the Quirk doctor's office, and the Quirk doctor's like, are you ready for your re-examination? And Izuku's like, yeah. So the Quirk doctor places his forehead on Izuku, and it's stronger now. It's still pretty weak, but it's a lot stronger than what Izuku's quirk is. Because at first, when the Quirk Doctor first detected Izuku's quirk, he thought since the quirk was weaker, was like extremely weak at the time, that the quirk detecting thing won't be able to detect his quirk. So that's why he didn't tell Inko about the quirk, the quirk test saying he's quirkless. But he's faced weaker quirks now, and they've shown up on the quirk detection machine. So the Quirk Doctor says, so, good news, kid, your quirk is getting stronger. I'd say, actually, that you may be able to develop it by the time you're 4.5 at the latest. And Izuku's like, really? And the Quirk Doctor's like, yeah. Alright, let's do the physical. Let's do the test, the examination now. The Quirk Doctor does the examination, and he's confused. It says the kid's quirkless. So the Quirk Doctor, with a confused expression, goes to brings Izuku back, and Inko's concerned. Is like, why? What, Doctor? What's wrong? What's Izuku's quirk? And the Quirk Doctor's like, well, I sensed your son may have a quirk that has been unheard of before. I will contact the Quirk and the public defense or whatever you call it, the public defense organization. I'll say that. Look, I'll report this to the public defense organization to have them look over this. You see, I can detect his quirk, but when I ran it through the quirk detector machine, it said he was quirkless. I've had quirks weaker than what I sensed, and the quirk detecting machine still called him quirkless. So perhaps it's some kind of quirk. This quirk may be something like people won't be able to tell what his quirk is. Or perhaps maybe it's some kind of thing where quirks that have to do with the mind, such as mind control or brainwashing, mind control, won't work on him. It's just that maybe because I've used my quirk for years now, that I can overcome his quirk. I don't know really, but just I'll say come back when he's 4. So Inko says alright, and Izuku goes to the park with Izuku. And Inko's on a bench with Mitsuki, right? And they discuss about what Izuku's quirk is, right? And Bakugo's like, hey Izuku, did you finally get your quirk? Know what your quirk is? And Izuku's like, good news is, I have good news and bad news. Bakugo's like, you're not quirkless, are you? Izuku's like, no. The Quirk Doctor said my quirk has gotten stronger. Well, no, Izuku says, I have good news. Bakugo's like, yeah, what is it? And Izuku says, my quirk has gotten stronger, but the bad news is the Quirk Doctor doesn't know what it is yet. And Bakugo's like, what do you mean? Huh, Izuku? And Izuku's like, well, I'll catch on the the Quirk Doctor said I might have a quirk that hasn't been discovered yet. Because the thing is, the Quirk Doctor had a quirk the Quirk Doctor's quirk was quirk detection, so he could see what people's quirks are. No, he can. It's called power detection. He can sense quirk energy. And when he used it on me, he sensed my quirk energy. But when he ran it through the quirk detection machine, it said I was quirkless. So the Quirk Doctor said I might have something like maybe quirks that detect quirks won't work on me, or maybe some kind of quirk that makes mind manipulation not work on me. And then Izuku starts to mumble, and Bakugo slaps him in the face and says, "Snap out of it, Izuku. Whatever it is, you have a pretty decent quirk. You have a good quirk. Mine's better though." And he's like, "Yeah, at least I might not be able to be brainwashed." Bakugo's like, yeah, whatever. So they plan, they go home, and when Izuku's 4, right? Izuku wakes up and screams. And Inko immediately wakes up and runs to Izuku and says, What's wrong? Right? And Izuku like, panics a little, and then after seeing his mom, he starts to calm down. And then, after a couple minutes, he says, "I think I've awakened my quirk." And he goes like, "Really? Oh, really? What is it? Oh, really? We gotta go to the Quirk Doctor now." And Izuku's like, no, wait. It's like some weird blue thing. Almost like those, it appeared in front of me. And it has words on it, too. And he goes like, what does it say? And it says, "You have been chosen, as a player. Would you like to accept or decline?" Right? And Izuku is an extremely smart kid. So Izuku presses accept. One moment, please. Sorry about that, I just had to drink some water. So, Izuku presses accept, right? Right, and then another pop-up appears, and Izuku's like, another thing appeared. The first one disappeared, and a new thing appeared, and it has more words on it. And Inko's like, "What does it say?" And Izuku's like, it says, "Would you like to go to the training area? As should be noted that your body will act as if it's unconscious while you're training, while in your in the tutorial. Yeah, would you like to go to the tutorial?" And Izuku is and it also says, you may also enter the tutorial tab. This will be enter the tutorial by saying enter tutorial. If you do so, decline. You may say enter tutorial at any point if you decline this. Izuku presses decline and says, "Let's go to the Quirk Doctor." And goes like, "Yeah." So, they go to the Quirk Doctor, and the Quirk Doctor's like, no, they go through the process, and the Quirk Doctor places his hand on Izuku, and he says, "Well, kid, you have, an okay quirk, kid, and you have a decent, I'd say a decent quirk. I believe I was, so then they do the examination, and it still says quirkless. So the Quirk Doctor is like, So, I suspect this quirk has something to do with canceling quirks that have to do with the mind, like mind control or something. It also may be something with quirk detection. Well, I've used my quirk for over 25 years, so that's perhaps due to my training with my quirk, my quirk energy detection quirk, that I am able to detect he has a quirk. However, it is entirely possible that he may have, in fact, a second quirk. And it appears to be some type of power, or perhaps creation? I am unaware, but it is powerful. Izuku's like, and Izuku's like, yeah, thank you. And they leave, right? And Izuku's like, oh, mommy, I want to go to the training, do the tutorial thing, so, tell Kachan, if you could tell, Auntie to tell Kachan about what's happening, why I'm not going to be at the park today. That would be great, thanks. And he goes like, yeah, of course, honey. So Izuku goes to his bed and he says, enter tutorial. And he falls unconscious, right? So Inko then calls Mitsuki and explains what's going on. And Mitsuki doesn't trust Bakugo to go to the park by himself because of his reckless behavior. So Mitsuki calls Bakugo over, right? And Bakugo's like, what is it, Mom? And Mitsuki's like, Izuku found out something with his quirk. Because Inko forgot to mention to Mitsuki and the Quirk Doctor what Izuku saw. Well, actually, she didn't. She didn't forget. Izuku asked her not to tell because he had a weird feeling. So she didn't tell. So Mitsuku explains that Izuku got his quirk. The Quirk Doctor said that Izuku got his quirk, but he wants to figure out what it is. So he's going into a certain spot that so he's going to like a quirk testing area, because in this world they have like quirk testing area for people who just have their quirks. So they say he's at one of those. So then we'll cut to Izuku at the same time. Izuku enters the training area, right? And kind of like during my first series, right? He has the shop, the inventory, the hot bar, the health bar, mana bar, his level, an experience bar. He has the shop. He has the mini map, the larger map. Well, the mini map, I'll say, for now, until he upgrades it, he'll only be able to see everything in a 3.5. No, I'll say a 0.5 kilometer radius. Sorry about that. I paused it because something came up. So, where was I again? I'll say, yeah, there's this mini-map. It's like, for now, with the mini-map option, it's at the bottom right corner. There's, he can see everything in a 0.5 kilometer radius. And if he opens the mini-map, he'll be able to see everything in, I'll say 7.5 kilometer radius. So it multiplies by 15. Yeah. Right? 0.5 divided by 15. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'll say it multiplies by 15. So, yeah, that's about 7. Yeah, I'm right. So, Izuku gets shown this, and he's told to say status, right? So Izuku says status, and something like kind of like, I suppose something like this pops up, or always I guess different abilities here. These 6 aren't the only ones he has, and as you can see, this is from solo leveling, so he doesn't have these two. He doesn't have a class or a title yet. His level is 1, and his name is Izuku Midoriya. He also says fatigue. It doesn't show his fatigue in his like main menu, so his HP and MP or that. Last time I made his MP half, kind of like half of his like HP. But this time I'm going to make it so MP is easier to get than HP, because it's life force. It's his life. That's why. So the tutorial for the main man gets kind of like his HUD finishes, and then he finishes all the other tutorials too. Cause he already saw the shop tutorials and whatnot. He saw what gold bars and gold coins, silver bars, gold coins, diamonds and gems, potions, looting stuff, fighting, crafting, that kind of stuff. And every time he falls asleep, he'll have the ability to, at the end, right? It says, "Congratulations, you have completed every single tutorial. Secrets, I'll say secret quest completed. You have, when you wake up, you will gain 500 XP, and 3 status points, 3 stat points, and I'll say and a dull iron dagger." Right? So Izuku's like at the start, right? To get to the next level, he needs like, I'll say 100 XP. Right? And for the first, I'll say like 10 levels, it goes up by 100. So level 1 is 102. To go from level 1 to 2, it's 100. 2 to 3, it's 200. And to go from 9 to 10, it's actually it's 1000. And from 10, then it goes up by 500 XP. So from 10 to 11, you need 1500, and then 11 to 12, it's 2000, right? And then when you reach level 20, it goes up to 1000 XP at a time, right? And then it goes to 5000 XP, and then 10,000 XP, and 15,000 XP at a time. So it gets higher and higher, right? So when Izuku wakes up, right, his mother, because say for it's a 10 to 1 ratio. So for every I'll say for every day spent in that tutorial, it's only about 2 hours and 40 minutes in the real world. So Izuku has been there for about say 6 days at this point. So that would be... one moment. Yeah, so at this point Izuku's been asleep for 16 hours. And Inko's starting to get worried. And she said that if he reaches the 20-hour mark that she'll call the doctor, an ambulance. And Izuku wakes up, right? Right. And he also can sleep, so when he falls asleep, right? You'll have like a separate area, like 2 different areas, right? He'll be in like a hallway, right, with 2 different doors, right? Kind of like in a fork path. Or the one on the left is kind of like where you can do whatever he wants, eats whatever he wants. But basically do anything he wants, and then the second door on the right is where you can do tutorials and train. Of course, this training actually does affect the real world too, so after Izuku finishes the tutorial, he wakes up and he yawns and he says, that was a good sleep. And a good tutorial. Status. Right? And after he says status, his mom wakes up and she says, Izuku, you had me so worried there. Right? And you'd been told about the 10-to-1 ratio at the start of the tutorial. So Izuku, right, and after like 15 minutes, Izuku finally calms his mom down, right? And then he goes like, what happened in there? So Izuku explains, gives her a summary, right, of what happened, and he explains the 10-to-1 ratio. So he goes like, so you've been there for what felt like 6 days for you, right? And Izuku's like, yeah, huh? Mom, can you see this status? This screen thing here? The status screen here? Izuku points to it, right? It's, right, and he goes like, no, I cannot, honey. Right? Izuku plays video games as some. So he knows what this is, right? So he has like a video game quirk, right? And the police so the next, so Izuku sees his, status, right, and I'll say his, instead of it, like, being, like, an up and down thing, it's going to be, like, left and right kind of thing. Actually, no, it's going to be like this up. He'll also be able to press down, too, to remove points, which will give him status points back. So, for now, so it gives him, Izuku, Izuku goes up to level 4, right? Alright, and Izuku presses, it says, would you like to accept rewards, right? And Izuku presses, would you like to accept the rewards now, later, or accept them individually? Izuku says, accept all. And he immediately goes up to level 4. I think, right? Because 500 XP, so it would be... one moment. So sorry, I was wrong. He goes up to level 3, right? And he's 2/3 of the way to level 4, right? And he gets 3 status points, and since he leveled up twice, I'll say every time he levels up, for the first 10 levels, he gets 1 status point, and then for levels 11 through 20, it's 2 status points, and 21 through 30, 3 status points per level. So that's how it's going to work. And that repeats on and on. And so, you can also get status points by completing quests and whatnot. And so, Izuku goes up 3 levels, and he gains 3 status points, and then he gains another 2 status points. So he has 5 now, and all of his abilities are at 1, except for his speed is at, I'll say, 3, strength at 2, and agility is also at 2, vitality. Actually, I don't know what vitality means. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up. Alright, so his vitality is kind of, from what I'm understanding from the Google definition, his vitality affects his health. So that's how I'm going to make it. So his vitality is at 2 as well. His intelligence, I'll say, will also affect his mana. So his intelligence, though, is at 11. Right, and Izuku decides to make his intelligence 15 and adds a point into agility. So he's at 3 agility and 15 intelligence. And so then Izuku gets a small dagger that it appears in his hotbar. And because it'll be like he gets to choose where the items go. So he chose to put it in his hotbar, right? And Izuku goes to his mom and says, "Mama, I also have this hotbar thing where I can store stuff, and I completed a hidden quest, right?" And he goes like, and I also got rewards. And he goes like, "Yeah, so what rewards did you get?" And Izuku's about to tell her, a new a notification tab appears. Right? Izuku jumps a little, and he goes like, "What's wrong, honey?" Izuku's like, "Nothing, just another notification." Right? And it says, "You have completed another secret quest. Complete all the tutorial in one go. You have completed the tutorial in one go, meaning you didn't stop at all, and you completed another secret quest, right? You gain, I'll say 7. He gets the rewards, 7 stat points, 1200 XP. He gets a small pouch. No, a small treasure box that have common level items. He also gained a new skill, regeneration. Basically, he will regenerate 5 times faster than a normal human at level. Of course, that is at regeneration at 1. And he also gets a new item called it's a rare sharpening stone. And depending on the level, the rarity of a weapon, that's how many I guess rubs to the blade. That sounds wrong, but I don't know what other words to say. So how many rubs, I guess, grinding on rubs on the blade, I guess. it will take to sharpen it fully. One moment. Alright, I'm back. So, for like common items, it's like kind of like he uses the grindstone on the weapon 1 or 2 times, and it's fully sharpened. And for uncommon, it's anywhere from 3 to 15. In rare items, it's anywhere from 16 to 100 times. And anything beyond rare, it won't work. Unless you spend hours doing it. It doesn't really... So it's not even worth it. After rare level items. And it also gets... he gets 2 items, actually. So that's the first item. The second... it's not really an item. It's actually not an item. It's going to be a new section unlocked in the shop. And it's going... This is... So... Izuku's like, whoa! So Izuku puts the grindstone in his hand, right? And it materializes straight in his hand. And Izuku is shocked and backs up a bit. It's like, what is that? He's like, it's a rare level. It's a grindstone. Its rarity is rare. Meaning, Inko asks, meaning that any weapon with a rarity of rare or below will be able to sharpen by this. And I also got 3 more things. I got 7 stat points, 1,200 XP, and a new section in the shop. Because I'll say at this point, Izuku can't buy potions. I'll say because he has to make them himself. One moment, sorry. Sorry about that. No, sorry about that. So, so Izuku, unlike in the first version of What If Deku had a Video Game Quirk, I'll say that this one he cannot buy potions. Well, he wouldn't be able to buy. He will be able to buy potions, but if he didn't complete that quest, he wouldn't have. Those 2 secret quests, he wouldn't have been able to buy potions at all. So Izuku goes to the new shop and it says potions, right? And it says, welcome to the potions segment. Some potions, such as mana refill and health refill, will vary depending on full health potions and full mana potions. The cost will depend on how much HP and MP you have, and what is your maximum. Stuff such as strength potions, speed potions, or 20% potions of healing that are fill 20% of your HP will cost a certain amount. No, strength potions and speed potions cost a very specific amount that will not be changed, and stuff such as 20% or 50% HP or MP recovery potions will vary depending on the maximum HP. So, yeah, that's how it'll be. So Izuku's like, wow, cool, I got potions now. And Nico's like, whoa, that's cool. Okay. And Izuku says, Mom, look at this. And he pulls out a dagger from his hotbar. And he goes, whoa, you're not supposed to have that. You shouldn't be having that. And Izuku's like, Mom, I don't think you realize this, so I'm going to tell you this now, okay? And he goes like, what are you saying, Izuku? And Izuku's like, Mom, listen, my life is like a video game now. There could be monsters that could attack me at random, and if I don't have a weapon to defend myself, I could die. Don't worry though, they're not real. Because according to the tutorial, only I can see them. And he goes like, very well then. Fine. So Izuku, sharpens the knife using the sharpening stone. The iron. Izuku sharpens the dual iron dagger. Using the rare sharpening stone. And in one it upgrades to a sharpened iron. A fully sharpened iron dagger. So a fully sharpened iron dagger. He's like, whoa, cool. And I'll say things have durability, but since it's the grindstone, the rare grindstone is rare, it'll last a long time. And so the grindstone doesn't repair weapons at all, it just makes them sharp. So they can use, and it also slowly takes away at the weapon's durability. Although really not by much, it only really affects the weapon if it's like a rare weapon. So Izuku puts it back, and Izuku puts the grindstone in his inventory and the fully sharpened iron dagger. I'll just say the iron dagger. Into his hotbar, right? And Izuku, right? Because at this point it's been like 20 hours. No, I'll say like 22 hours since he's gone to the Quirk doctor's office. Actually, not 22 hours. It's like 17 hours. So it's like 6:30 in the morning. So they go up and they go to school, right? Everybody at school knew that Izuku would have a quirk. It's just that everybody knew that Izuku wouldn't get his quirk till he's 4 or 5. So Izuku was. As the teacher's about to start. No, the teacher starts class, alright? And after class, they'll say, after school's over, Izuku and Bakugo and his 2 friends confront Izuku and was like, hey, Izuku, do you have your quirk yet? Bakugo says, and Izuku's like, yeah, I do. I know what it is now. Right, no, Bakugo's like, everybody at school knew what Izuku's quirk is. Right? No, Izuku that, had a quirk, because it's Tuesday at this point, and they wanted to find out what Izuku's quirk was, so they took a day off. So, they're like, the teacher's like, before we start class, Izuku, would you mind telling us your quirk, right? And Izuku thinks about it for a second, right? And he doesn't want to lie, but he recognizes that his quirk is probably the first of its kind. So he recognizes that villains might try to attack him. So he says, my quirk is my quirk is weapon creation. I can create weapons. And Izuku, because Izuku was experimenting a little, and he says, he can use specific words to put stuff into his hand. So, like, for example, if he can't reach down to his hotbar, he can just think of it. He can think, he has to think of the full name, so he thinks, Izuku thinks, put fully sharpened iron dagger in my right hand. And the iron dagger appears, right, it materializes in Izuku's hand, right? And Izuku says then, I can also, I also have this thing where where I can, Izuku's like, if I stab myself, with my weapon, it'll go back inside of me too. So it'll be, it uses my energy. It uses Izuku explains that it uses his blood to make weapons. Right, and if he puts it back inside of him, and if he stabs himself with it, the weapon will go back into his body, right? So Izuku, no, if he cuts himself, right, it'll go back into his body. So Izuku cuts himself, right, and he says, "Put weapon back into hotbar." And as he says this, he puts the knife in, and it materializes in the hotbar, right? And people think it just went back in his blood, right? And the kids are like, "Whoa, so cool!" And Izuku, he's just like, "Yeah, all right, class. Or Izuku, go back to your seat, and then class will begin." So they have a party at Izuku's house to celebrate his quirk, right? And when Bakugo tells Izuku what his mom what his quirk is, Izuku's quirk is, in front of Inko's like, Inko at first says, "Huh? That's not Izuku's quirk." Bakugo's like, "Huh? What?" But he just showed us, and Izuku said, "I figured that since villains would try to come and attack me, alright, not that, I lied, so that way nobody would try to hurt me." Inko was a bit shocked by this, and Bakugo's like, "Oh, really then? What is your quirk, huh, nerd?" And Izuku's like, "My quirk essentially just makes my life like a video game." And Bakugo's eyes widen, and Izuku then says, "How I did it before was I did this." And Izuku says out loud, "Put fully sharpened iron dagger into my left hand." And then it materializes in his left hand. And Izuku swings it a couple of times, and it says, "Put fully sharpened iron dagger back into my hotbar." And it dematerializes. And Izuku says, "I just said that so that way people wouldn't try to hurt me as much." Right? And Bakugo, after a bit of arguing with Izuku, accepts it. Right? And so what I'm doing is, like, I'll be telling you guys, like, if I do time skips, right, I'll tell you what levels he's at. So, for the first couple months, leveling up is easy. Until he gets to after level 30, then it starts to be... After, I'll say, level 20, it starts to get hard. So, I'll say by the time he's 5, I'm going to do a time skip to the start of the last year of middle school, which Izuku will be 14. So I'll be skipping over 10 years. So by the time he's 5, Izuku's at level 35. When he's 6, he's at level I'll say level 80. 7, he'll be at level 110. Because keep in mind, Sung Jin Woo and solo leveling only. He gathered all that power up in like 7 months, so. By the time Izuku is, let's see, hold on. 5 is 35, 6. By the time Izuku is 7, he's about well, he's weaker than Sung Jin Woo would be, but his level's about the same. And so level, so actually no, I'll try and change it. So 5 he's 35. At 6 at 6 years old he's at level 70. At 8 years old he's at level 85. That's at yeah, it's at 7. So at 8 he's at level 107. At 9 he'll be at level 128. At 10 he'll be at level 143. level 11 he'll be at, I'll say, level 160. At 12 he'll be level 189. And 13 he'll be at level 202. By the time he's 14, he's at like level 200 and I'll say level 222. A few days before the first day of the third year of middle. The first day, about a few days before the first day of the last year of middle school, Izuku reaches level 222. Right, and at this point, Izuku's leveled up a lot. Right, and dungeons appear, and sometimes monsters appear. The Public Safety... Oh yeah, it's the Public Safety Commission, not the Public Defense Organization. The Public Safety Commission is aware of it. And Hero Heroes have been training. He's gained a lot of skills, right? And at this point, he's like a sorcerer. Or a mage. I say... He's like a sorcerer or a mage. He also knows how to use swords and shields and whatnot. So... The teacher said, actually no, I'm not gonna skip to the, I'm gonna skip to the last day of the third of the last year of middle school, actually. So Izuku's around, I'll say in Japan for because for the case of hero students, people will have a 10 month period before, after middle school ends and high school begins. So, the last day of middle school, right? The teacher is like, alright, class, remember, you have to remember what high school you're going to. And so today we're going to see which high school you want to go to next, right? And the teacher holds out a bunch of, sheets of paper with choices that students will write down their choices on for high school. And the teacher says, "I'm just joking with you guys. I know you guys want to be heroes, right?" So they all go. Then the teacher says, "Seriously though, you gotta fill this in though." They're like, "Aww." They film in, and the teacher's like, "Oh, 2 people here want to go to UA." Right? And they're all shocked. They're a bit shocked, but they're like, "I bet it's Bakugo and Midoriya." Right? And the teacher says, "Katsuki Bakugo, with your quirk, you actually might, and your intelligence, you might get in. Although you better watch your attitude. That might block you from getting in." And he turns to Izuku and he's like, Izuku, you want to go to Izuku Midoriya, you want to go to UA too. not only with your quirk and intelligence, will help you greatly. Not only that, but your demeanor is great too. So I think you'll make it. Alright, class, that's the end of the year. It was nice knowing you guys and teaching you throughout these years. Goodbye. So Izuku and Bakugo go home and they train together for the... I'll say the meeting with All Might and the Sludge Villain don't happen. All Might didn't get weakened by the All for One. Fight that they had when Izuku was around 11. Around 11-10. So, Izuku, they clean the beach up and do stuff. Right? And at this point, this is something... I guess as close as you can get. Hold on. Alright, so... I guess these are, like, his levels now, right? His, like, strength is at, like, 500. Agility's, like, 600. Perception 700. Stamina is at, like, 650. And his intelligence is over 1,000. So... he has gained gold coins and stuff like that over the years, and this would be more of an accurate description. His HP is like 70,000, I'll say. Around 72,000. And his MP, though, is at like 160,000 at this point. His vitality is also really high. His vitality is at like 500. It's at like 700. No, 800 actually. Around 830, because he trains a lot. He also completes some hidden quests, regular quests, and whatnot. So Izuku's like really powerful. He's at like All Might levels at this point. Maybe beyond that. So they go to the UA entrance exams, and I'll just say that they pass. Cause actually no, hold on. They go in, they take the the written exam, and then they head to the practical exam, right? And they get separated, and the moment the doors open, the prison open, Izuku rushes in, and all the other contestants are like, "Hey, that's cheating, that's no fair. He should be, I guess, kicked out for this." And then Prison Mike goes on the intercom. "Real heroes don't wait for someone to give them permission to do something. They just do something." And upon hearing this, all the other students, they go in and they start destroying robots, and Izuku is destroying robots. And so, as Izuku destroys these robots, he eventually feels the ground shaking, right? And a detection pops up. A strong enemy has appeared. And he sees it, and it says 0-pointer. It's a light green. I'll say because it's kind of like there's like there are 4 different colors: green, yellow, red, and black. Green, with the exception of red, green, yellow, and green, have like 3 different versions too. So for green, there's like light green, which is extremely green, and dark green, Then there's white, yellow, yellow, dark yellow. Then there's white, yellow, and white, red, and then regular red. Just red itself is what Izuku's is at, and then dark red or blood red. Yeah, I'll say blood red because it sounds cooler. Blood red and black are both higher than him. So it's like it's a dark green. And Yuga says, "Oh, dark green. This should be easy." Right? And he hears, "Help!" So he runs over and grabs Uraraka and helps Uraraka and says, "Run now." So she says, "What about you?" And she goes like, "I'll be fine, don't worry about it. Run. Just run." And Izuku then jumps up and takes out his sword and slashes it, the 0 pointer, and it completely gets obliterated, right? And Aizawa's like, "I want him in my class." And so Prison Mike announces it's over. Izuku, his endurance is pretty high, right? So it's at the point where he only gets a fractured ankle, right? And he limps for a little while, and Recovery Girl comes in and says, "Here, let me heal you." And Izuku's like, No, it's fine." And his and his ankle heals and says, "All better now." Because his regeneration is like he has lots of skills, such as strong hit, I'll say. I took that one from The Gamer. Speed. Danger sense. His regeneration's at like level 150 or 151, I was saying. He has multiple abilities. Then Izuku and Bakugo meet up again, and they go home. And a week later, they go to Bakugo's house, and they open their acceptance letters, and Bakugo Izuku got first place, because he got 490 points. And Bakugo got 210 points. Bakugo got second, keep in mind. So Bakugo got Izuku got over double what the Bakugo had. Right, and so a week later they go to the school, right? And then they walk into class. And that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.